right, welcome everyone to the first event we organize underneath our inspiring graduates, and we promise you to be inspired. This is the first session that is organized by the Department of Linguistics and Translation, but we expect much more to come with so many more of our inspiring graduates everywhere in the world. Today, really, this means so much to me. Let me just introduce myself. I'm Dina Daghs. I'm the chair of the Linguistics and Translation Department. I'm really honored to have two of our most inspiring graduates today, Ms. Hiba Ahmed and Ms. Rana Khattab. I had the pleasure of teaching them. Really, I always remember all the excellent work they presented, whether it was academically, extracurricular activities, and much more. And even as their personality was always inspiring, and always so optimistic and keen to go ahead despite any challenges they might have faced at certain points. So thank you very much really for being here, Hiba and Rana. I can see Noura. Hi, Noura. And we hope to have you in one more event, inshallah. And by the way, we're also organizing another event very soon next semester for all our alumni. So please make sure that you follow us on Twitter so that and you share your contact info with us so that we can invite you and we can always stay in touch. We learn from you, you learn from us, and this is how it should always be, inshallah. We're always there for each other. So I won't take much more time. I just wanted to welcome everybody to this event, and I leave you now with the inspiring stories that our graduates can share. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Dina. Now I'm going to present our alumni. And first I will say something about myself. My name is Ivana Rončević. I am assistant professor here at PSU, and I'm one of the alumni coordinators. It's really my pleasure to be here and to welcome all of you, especially our successful alumni. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance of teaching them because I'm a new faculty here, but I'm looking forward to hearing their stories. So first, I will present Ms. Hiba Ahmed. Hiba Ahmed is a PSU graduate with applied linguistics degree. She finished her degree in 2016. Currently, she is finalizing her master thesis in computational linguistics at the University of Tübingen in Germany. Her main focus is Arabic natural language processing, NLP. She is working with Tübingen University to process the Arabic language into web-based platforms that are dedicated for second language acquisition and linguistic complexity measurement. She has experience in different fields, such as teaching, research, academic consultation, and programming. She has recently started working as a speech expert at Cerence company in Germany, in which artificial intelligence products are developed for the navigation systems in vehicles. So, Ms. Hiba, the floor is yours. Please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ivana. Thank you, Dr. Dina, for arranging this. It's really my honor. I'm so honored to be here and to see my doctors. I just saw you, Dr. Hala, on the chat. Thank you so much. I really miss all of you. I miss Saudi Arabia, PSU. I would like to start just with this picture of the city where I used to live. I actually moved out of Tübingen 2 months ago. It's known for its ancient, colorful buildings. So this is a brief overview about me. So as Dr. Ivana mentioned, I have bachelor degree in applied linguistics. I am currently in the end of my master degree in computational linguistics. I have, of course, different, I have experience in different fields, starting from Saudi Arabia and moving to Germany. Recently, I started with Arabic NLP, shifted a little bit from complete humanities field to a computer science. It's actually, it's where I have to work with both fields. 2 weeks ago, actually, I started my job as a speech expert at Cerence. I'll talk more in details. I would like first to talk about my experience in Prince Sultan University and how I became who I am now. As you see in this picture, this is one of my many certificates I had the chance to get because of the opportunities actually our doctors gave us to participate in different seminars, competitions, to publish our papers, to move our academic, when we just, it's more than just the academic course. Like any assignment, let's say this way, any assignment we do it in the course, we actually have chance to move it to higher levels in different seminars and competitions. So these are actually some of my achievements. And again, I thank my doctors for that, because when I started my studies at the university, I never thought of doing any other extracurricular activities or or even reaching or achieving what I have achieved so far. So I got first honors degree. I had the chance to present in several seminars, whether at the university itself or different seminars, and actually attending different workshops arranged by the university, or giving us the chance to attend workshops presented by other institutions. I participated in the 5th and 6th scientific conference for KSA university students. So this is when I was talking that it was a small assignment that I did in one of the courses, or actually in 2 of the courses. And then my professors encouraged me to improve it and to participate in the conference and to compete with other KSA or with other Saudi universities. So I was qualified in these 2 papers, and I could participate in the 5th and 6th, so 2 years. And then, of course, they always offer us volunteering chances. So I had the chance to teach English in Mishkat program, organizing many events or register it. Of course, Dr. Dina knows that. I worked a lot with Dr. Dina with organizing all the seminars and events. And then at the end of my studies, I had the chance to join the Fulbridge program, which maybe you may have heard of it. It's more for business, which is something also I liked, is that my field is completely different from business, at least what I studied at that time, but I still had the chance to take a glance, about business and how it works. And then finally, when I graduated, one of my papers were, as Dr. Dina told me, it is one of the good papers. So she again motivated me to publish it, though I haven't thought of that. So she was with me through all the process, with, of course, the help of Dr. Alia and Dr. Beata. And I managed to publish the paper. And now I keep actually following it. It's like people keep citing it, and I always feel proud about this paper. Next, yeah. So I would like to talk a little bit about my experience in the Saudi market, and about the comments I heard from people I worked with that are related to PSU in specific. They were actually interesting. For me, to be honest, when I started working, I never thought that PSU has a really good reputation in the Saudi market. I remember one of the interviews I had with someone, and he asked me, this is in Saudi Arabia, of course, he asked me, can you list me your certificates? So I started with, yeah, I have BA in applied linguistics from PSU. And he was like, okay, stop there. That's enough. You are from PSU, that's enough for us. And I actually heard a lot of compliments just regarding PSU high quality education and the skills we learn. I worked in different places, as you see in this slide, with different roles. And whatever I try, I always find myself, I have the skill to actually proceed. Like, for example, as a project coordinator, I worked in many stuff, like I had to translate, write, coordinate, give presentations. Even, you know, the skill of giving presentations is one of the most skills I am grateful for. It really helped me. And then as an academic consultant or communication officer, having it's really maybe a silly skill you might think of, but writing formal emails is one of the skills I am also, I'm really happy that I have it. I remember Dr. Piata returns the paper to us, like, I don't know, 5 times just to fix and to have a really proper formal letter. And this helped me a lot. And again, many people mentioned that they actually complimented my way of writing formal emails. Of course, also I learned formal emails from Dr. Dina. I remember I always look at her emails and I try to copy her style. Another interesting thing as an English teacher, when I started working, it's in Dar es Salaam schools, if you heard of it. The teacher, the supervisor, asked all of us, the English teachers, to provide her with a syllabus, academic syllabus. So of course, I went back to my materials from PSU and I wanted to copy the way they are done, and I did that. And when she looked at it, she was so impressed, and she said, okay, yeah, nobody can provide me with such a high quality paper or document unless he or she is a PSU graduate. She actually said that. So yeah, I'm so happy that I could excel in different fields in the Saudi market, and I see how people are always satisfied with the performance of the skills I gain, the knowledge I have. But to be honest, now the real test for the skills or the knowledge I learned in PSU is when I have now to move from Saudi Arabia. So of course, in Saudi Arabia, I was competing with the Saudi universities. And as I said, I excelled. And now going to Germany, I now will compete with international, with not only German universities, but with many, many universities. So first, let me give you a brief overview about the University of Tübingen. So it is actually one of the top 80 universities in the world. It's ranked 78th. It has the rank of 6 for the field of religion and theology. In humanities, it has the rank of 24. And the reason I say that, to just show how I managed to get into this university. So as you saw, I shifted my field from applied linguistics to computational linguistics, which is more challenging because now usually most universities ask for programming background, which of course we didn't have. But in the University of Tübingen, they have a different program where they accept people from who have only linguistic background or only computer science background, and they bridge the missing knowledge by giving us a prerequisite courses. So, and it is a very international program compared to other German programs because it is taught in English. The reason I say that because I had the chance to meet many people from many universities and countries, from Brazil, US, Australia, Europe, all of Europe, China, just many of them. And I was surprised myself is that I also found myself excel in the linguistics background comparing to all of these people. Even I know even people who graduated from other German universities, and I still find myself that I have enough knowledge that I can use in the field. Of course, I didn't excel in the programming background. I had to learn from scratch. Yeah, so when they actually announced about the role of tutoring, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics, in the beginning, to be honest, I had my doubts. I was like, okay, I'm gonna apply with other people who are graduates from all over the world. How would they choose me over them? And yeah, and the interview was really a success. And I thank Dr. Hala for that. I took syntax with her. We talked about the books I studied with syntax semantics, and they use them. It's one of the like international most used books. They use them, so I could actually discuss with them all the knowledge I have. I continued tutoring these courses with the doctor for now, like for 2 years. I also, what really surprised me when the doctor I worked with, he told me that since he is also the advisor of master program for applied linguistics at the university, he was surprised that many people who applied, they wouldn't have even enough linguistics knowledge. So this is also was surprising for me, and I knew that, okay, for me, I had really enough linguistics knowledge. So also, as you see in the university, I had the chance to also publish a paper in Computational Linguistics journal. And now I am currently working as an academic assistant. They are interested in the Arabic language, in my background in the Arabic language, and knowing how to apply the linguistic theories on the Arabic language, and then of course programming practice. So I'm working with them now to develop Arabic to the systems they have, which is something, to be honest, I am proud of, because you rarely find people working on the Arabic language. And I remember Dr. Hala's advice when she once mentioned, maybe she forgot that, she's here, I know if you remember that, she said, if you go to Europe, try to focus on Arabic, because they really need that. So I didn't know that until I came here. And this is the end. I hope I didn't talk more than 20 minutes. I would like to conclude my presentation with this nice view I had next to my dorm where I lived in Tübingen. And thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much, Ms. Heba. This was a very, very interesting presentation. I think maybe we will have time for one or maybe two questions before we move on with Ms. Rana. I'm also excited to hear her story. So we have one question. Did you feel PSU has prepared you to the job market in Germany? I think you answered this. You said that actually it prepared you very well for the international market, right? Okay, let me just see if there are any other questions. I don't see any. So I will move on to Ms. Rana. Yes, okay, we have one question. What was the most challenging part of your journey?
In Germany or in general?
I think this refers to in general.
The most challenging part in general. Well, a lot of challenges. Let's see. Teaching was really challenging. Of course, now Rana, when she starts, she's gonna tell you more. For me, teaching was one of the most challenging jobs I've had. But again, I could, of course, no matter what we learn, and in the academic life, we still like it, in the practice, it's really different. So yeah, I would say teaching. In Germany, when the most challenging part for me was learning a new field, which is programming. I I was happy that I wasn't challenged about the linguistic, because I saw people who actually in the beginning I was so frustrated, because I thought, okay, it's better if I have learned if I have taken like computer science and study linguistics, because it's way easier. This is what I thought, but actually it turned out that linguistics is much difficult, or there are not many resources in the internet to learn proper linguistics. But when it comes to programming, it's, it's more available. So yeah, I think these are the most challenging things I faced.
Thank you, Ms. Heba. This is very interesting. There is maybe one more question we can answer. So the question is, or we can combine two questions. One is, are you currently studying German? And another is, how was the transition from Saudi to Germany, considering the differences in cultural backgrounds?
Yeah, I'm studying German, yeah, but it's horrible, my German. Because maybe I am so stressed with my thesis work, and I have now 2 jobs, one at the university and a full-time job at the new company. So I rarely find time, but it's my fault. I have to dedicate more time to the German language. Of course, here most people speak English, so maybe this is also one of the reasons. But yeah, I am learning German. I have to be fluent in German. How was the transition from the Saudi culture to Germany? Interesting, many German people ask me this question, if I got any cultural shock. In my case, I didn't have any problem, even though like I was born in Saudi Arabia, I grew up in Saudi Arabia. I even grew up in a conservative place in Riyadh, not where people are really, old-fashioned, sorry for using this word, or maybe more traditionalist somehow. But I didn't, maybe because I prepared myself, also because I worked in different workplaces in Riyadh, like British Council, with UK universities, and I actually interacted with many non-Arab people in Riyadh before I come to Germany. So somehow this helped me.
Thank you, Ms. Heba. Thank you very much. Okay, now I think we don't have any more questions for Ms. Heba, and I'm going to ask Ms. Rana to share her screen. I'm going to say a few words about Ms. Rana. Rana finished her translation degree from PSU in 2012. She worked afterwards for a year at the same place where she spent her co-op internship, which is the Western Studies Institute. She then moved to Belgium and has been living there since. She shifted her translation career there and worked in the social and educational sector. She is currently teaching English at a Dutch secondary school in Brussels and giving business training on the side. Ms. Rana, I would love to.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, I would love to hear your story in more detail. So the floor is yours, please.
Sure. Thank you, Ms. Ivana. Thank you, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. It's always a pleasure being back on a platform from PSU. PSU was a home to many of us. It's not just a university, it's a talent hub full of opportunities, full of potentials, full of chances for us to seize. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about at the moment now. And I'm naming my presentation From PSU to Outer Space, because then when after graduation, we're set free to face the real world, where we have to go and collect our chances and opportunities ourselves, whereas in PSU, they are literally everywhere for us to take advantage of. I don't think my presentation will be so different from Heba's, because I think we all agree on one thing. PSU gave us a great start to our jobs, our professional lives. So that is, my presentation will be just another confirmation of that. So yes, I'm a graduate from 2012, 10 years ago almost. I feel so old. Sorry. Yeah. So this is a very old picture from our interpreting lab. I guess everything has changed now. What does really university life what can it give us? It can give us chances to be creative. We've definitely in our assignments, in the evaluation process, in each course, we got the chance to be creative in the way we present, the way we deliver and submit assignments. It gave us also many chances to find our interests. I think this is always the chance. I've been following PSU Twitter account and Dr. Dina's Facebook and the Instagram, and I can see that so many events are being introduced for PSU students to take part in, where they can find their place. It is also a chance for us to help the community. I remember in my time, we had so many campaigns for Earth in the environment, organ donations, blood donations, and so forth. So I do remember that I was part of raising awareness, and my awareness being raised on so many global issues. It was a chance for me to develop at a very fast pace, especially the fact that the courses combined with the extracurricular activities have given us so much, so we can try to cope with the job market. It does help us on both hard and soft skills levels. We have our courses were core courses where we actually prepare to take our major and actually find a good job. And as Ms. Heba said, it showed, because afterwards, when you graduate from PSU and the employers find out that you are a PSU graduate, you have an advantage there. And also on soft skills, because yeah, let's face it, we've made so many presentations, we wrote so many business emails and writing, and we've done so much to be able to develop on both levels. It was definitely for me a chance to network at PSU and at the co-op level. During my PSU years, I've had the chance to network with my own colleagues and fellow students who are now, I'm so proud of them, whoever is now on their path and on their own journey. So they are still a very good network for me. There's also Dr. Dina and all the faculty at Translation and English department, where I try to stay in contact with. That is definitely a good network. And also other people who I had the chance to meet during PSU events, competitions, and at co-op internship. I also made friends for life. I think we all can agree on that. The thing is, you don't have to wait at PSU to make up your CV. You don't have to wait until you graduate in order to start actually filling up your CV. You can do it literally while you are at PSU. How did I do it? Personally, I was also, I really indulged myself fully in the extracurricular activities. I used to come even on my off days to work and to hold meetings and participate in meetings, for example, like Toastmasters Club. So many initiatives done during also taking the courses. So for example, for translation, we had started a seminar for translation students. We had done guest speakers, and so it was an initiative from our courses and from the major itself. And I had actually done real work, and I was actually even paid for it with the Community Service Center. It was such an amazing experience, because then I was cultivating my leadership skills, making my own teams, starting projects, looking for sponsors, marketing, social media coverage, everything there. And that all helped in enriching my CV. And then the co-op came. It was honestly a ticket to the real world. It was a work experience. I made friends. I had really good bosses. And fortunately, after I finished the co-op, they offered me immediately a 1-year contract. That was, of course, also with a chance to be renewed. And it was for an exchange program with the US for high school students. It was very enriching experience. I've learned so much, and I've made so many good friends. Unfortunately, it had to stop before I even got the chance to finish see a whole group go to the US, because then I got married and I had to move with my husband to Belgium. He was already here. So yeah, starting a family in a new land, in a new country with a whole different culture and a job market. It was not an easy thing. It was definitely with so many setbacks. I was alone. I have Maya now and Makeen, a daughter and a son. And so yeah, starting a family alone is not an easy, especially if you ambitious to really take place in the job market. So the first obstacle was the language. As Heba says, the Germanic languages are not easy. Dutch language, in Belgium, you have 3 languages actually: Dutch, French, and German. The place where I'm living, they speak primarily Dutch, or let's say the dialect that is called Flemish. So I started studying the language, really concentrating on the language, but it stayed as a passive knowledge in my brain until I found a job. And then I could actually really interact in Dutch. Obstacle number 2, then actually finding a job. There in Belgium, it might be a shock, but you actually need contacts. You need relations here and there to find you a good job and to leave a good word for you and where you want to where you want to apply for a job. So my limited network was an obstacle. However, my husband is here. He had some network and the volunteer work. So the PSU mentality came in again, switched on, and I started doing volunteer work. And that was a ticket again to network and to find a job. I started working at an integration agency for newcomers of Belgium, where they have to learn the language, find job, find suitable housing. There were so many refugees at the time. It was 2016. There was a huge flux of refugees in Belgium. And that time they were also looking for Arabic speakers to help all refugees settle in Belgium and integrate. And it was such a great opportunity to help all of these people. I stayed there for almost 5 years, and then I started to think about different prospects. So the obstacle number 3 is the fact that At some point, you want to change. You want to really find yourself. Social work is really good, rewarding, definitely, but I wanted more. So I went and applied to the bachelor program, educational bachelor program at Erasmus. And I started last year. It was 1 year program to get the educational bachelor, so I can be certified to work at schools and in the education system in general. It was all in Dutch, the program. So it was another challenge. I had to always proofread my papers before sending them in, and I would still, of course, receive some comments on the language. But luckily, it was really good, and I got my diploma. So the thing is, also here came the PSU. So at some point, I really found that we were overqualified in some areas when it comes to soft skills. So ladies, do not underestimate the fact that we come from an Arab country. We are on an international level. I forgot to say my Prince Sultan University bachelor degree was recognized here in Belgium in like that. It was there. I had no problems finding an equivalent for it, and now I have 2 Belgian bachelors. So to end or finalize this, make it in a story that you can remember. I just want to tell you, we're not there yet. We want to do more. We want to achieve. However, in order to do that, we need to keep the motivation going. Especially, I guess, for all of us, it's been a hard couple of years, the last 2 years with the corona and lots of other things. The job market is shifting everywhere. We need to keep positive. Now, there is also a toxic positivity. Being positive is definitely nice and shiny and important. However, we need to face the reality that ups and downs are a natural course of life. We have to have these ups and downs. We have to live them fully in order to go to the other course of the chapter of our lives and start it on a healthy terms. I think that is what I mean by networking and having friends from PSU. Whenever I look at my friends, what are they achieving? What are they doing? I'm so proud and touched. I feel like they are a rock that I can lean on whenever I feel I can't do it. And then I look back and I see, no, they're all doing it. We can all continue. Any job market is going to be happy to have PSU graduates. So yeah, surround yourself definitely with people who can cheer you up and cheer for you, like our respectful doctors who are always happy for us and always looking at our achievements and thinking they are their own, which is true. Go back to a successful moment, the little achievements, the very cute little moments where you feel like, wow, I've done something here. Record them, cherish them, put them on the side and go back to them whenever you feel down. This photo is the first feedback I got from the first job I had here in Belgium, the first fully functioning job in Dutch, where I felt so conscious about my language and I felt so uncomfortable. And then this mentor, Pascaline, she sent me this nice message, and as you can see, it's in Dutch, telling me that I'm doing a good job and that I'm learning really fast, and she's proud. Whenever I feel a bit hesitant about my place in the job market, or in the Belgian job market, I go back to this moment and I try to remind myself that I can do it. One thing also that is not easy is finding the balance between your personal and professional life. Of course, especially when you're a mom, and it can have a toll on you. It can definitely affect the motivation to go on. So please try to find it. I haven't found it yet, so sorry, there are no secrets there. I haven't found any, but I'm trying. And I think it did add to so many stressful moments, the fact that I cannot balance. But it does come, and at some point you can find it, or at least you can make your peace with the fact that there is at some point you will not be 100% perfect on one aspect, which is totally fine. That brings me to the very last chapter of this presentation, this very old photo I found while trying to fetch some memories from PSU. As you can see, I feel 100-year-old with these computers. I do hope that this lab does not exist anymore on the campus. Doctors, you can tell me, please. And yeah, that's it. I will always go back to my PSU years, and I will always feel like it's a home that I miss. And I think we all look at the PSU graduates and feel that's the future. So yeah, it's a safe place to go back to every time I feel I need a push in my professional life. And thank you very much for the opportunity to be able to tell the story. Thank you for listening, for being here on a Sunday. For us, it's a weekend. This is my information if you want to come in contact. And if you are ever in Belgium, please give me a call.
Thank you, Ms. Rana, for this very interesting presentation. So let's see if we have any questions. I think we do. Okay, I'm not sure if this is for you or for Ms. Heba. The question is from Dr. Hala Dalbani. Are you taking courses from both programs, CCIS and linguistics, or from one? So as you finished your studies, maybe this was for Ms. Heba. I think there was a question. Maybe Dr. Hala Dalbani, you can unmute yourself to ask which question you would like to ask. Dr. Hala, if you can hear me. Okay, let's see while I'm waiting for Dr. Hala to.
Dr.
Yes.
Ivana,
Yes.
she can't unmute herself because she's not a panelist. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, that's okay. It's okay.
Let me try to, so I can unmute her.
But the question that you just asked, it is for Heba because it's about computational linguistics.
Yes, that's what I think. Okay, so if we don't have any other questions, yes, I will unmute Dr. Hala just a second.
That's questions. I can ask questions.
Yes,
I always
please
have
do.
questions.
Okay, please do.
All right. For me, because I am close to both Heba and Rana, and we're Facebook friends, so I see what they're going through throughout their lives. So I think one of the things that Rana was touching on, and I'm certain Heba, I know Heba has adjusted to life in Germany as well. What advice could you, like overall advice you could give for the students if they want to go and work outside of Saudi Arabia, you know, other than the soft skills? I know, Rana, you were talking about soft skills, but what advice, like what do they need in order to be ready to go out into the international arena and work?
Heba?
It's to me. Rather than soft skills, what do I need? Open-minded, to be open-minded. It's okay, as Ms. Rana already mentioned, it's okay to be frustrated sometimes. It's okay to face many obstacles. They should be prepared for obstacles. I think also I needed, for me at least, I needed to be emotionally strong because I was away from my family. As yeah, of course, Ms. Rana can relate. I was alone also, but yeah, I'm not a mom. I was alone by myself. It was really not easy for me to leave my family in Saudi Arabia, to leave the place where I grew up and go completely to a new environment and culture, totally alone by myself. Of course, I heard, especially when we hear, yeah, another thing, don't listen to any negative thoughts or negative attitudes toward the people you are going to live with. I heard a lot of negative, negative comments about Germans and how racist they are and how they don't speak English and how, you know, all these things that make the person really wanna go back and change all of his or her plan. So it was completely different for me, at least for me. So it's true, you will find people. It's okay if you find bad people or racist people. It's okay, it's everywhere. Just you need to stay positive and don't take it personal. Try just to, you know, move on. Yeah, this is what
I think yes, that's very true. The open-mindedness is a crucial part of being in another culture, because then if you don't have it, then you cannot really indulge yourself in the opportunities that you might find. Also be open personally to change. It's okay to change. It's okay to be someone else. It's okay to because I've never thought. I was studying translation. It was amazing. I loved it, but I've never thought after that I'll not use my major anymore. Maybe I will in the future. I'm still open to the idea. So that's the thing. Be open to different jobs, to different experiences, different groups, different bosses, different colleagues, and learn from each person who can pass in your life, and give you a little lesson here and there. And that's the thing about networking. It's crucial. It's not only because I'm making network because I need a job at some point. You're making a network because you're learning from all of these people, and they've helped me as well. For example, when I said I had to have my Dutch papers at the during my bachelor, always proofread it. That it was not. It was my husband sometimes, but it was also my friends, my colleagues. All of them had this this openness to free some of their time to see my papers and look at them and see if I have any mistakes. So the network is there to help you as well grow. So I think this is a key perspective to have always in the back of your mind whenever you're moving from one place or one culture to the other.
Thank
If
you.
you don't mind, I want to ask about your emotions. So you've gone through a lot. So are you proud of yourself now? And are you optimistic about the future?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you make us see that, to be honest. You remind us that we can be proud of ourselves. I said it, I'm not there yet. I don't feel like I am, but I think I'm good where I am.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we still go through difficulties. For me, at least now with my thesis, I'm already very, like, even plans sometimes go as unexpected. For me, I was supposed to finish my thesis, for example, last year, but then some obstacles would pop up, or, you know, some problems, especially with programming. It's not as easy as when you do like a theoretical research. So yeah, I feel frustrated sometimes. I feel like, okay, I should have done it a year ago. But yeah, still optimistic to the future.
You make us so proud, both of you, and you make us so optimistic about the future of our graduate, our current students and graduates as well. So thank you very much. Thank you for all these positive vibes.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
for the
much.
opportunity. Thank you for the space, and I thank everyone who's here. They definitely have other plans to do, but thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Ms. Heba and Ms. Rana. I think what we heard today was that PSU prepared you very well in both to excel academically and to excel at the job market. And also you were prepared well to adapt to a completely different culture. So I was very happy to hear your stories today. And with that, I would like to conclude our today's session. And I think we will have a lot of more interesting, many more interesting sessions to come. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rana. Thank you, Heba.
Thank you,
يعني it's
Dr.
great to
Alia.
see you guys. Great to see you. ما شاء الله ما شاء الله. يا ريت في
pleasure.
ايام انتم بتقدروا بيكون في رياض كمان عشان نشوفكم مباشرة.
Actually,
الله يا
I'm
رب.
coming end of December, so hopefully we
طيب
can meet
no
out.
excuses, Rana.
No
Oh,
excuses.
how lucky you are.
لازم.
I'm trying to come in March, maybe. I'll try to.
طيب كويس كويس.
But anyway, I
and
said-
انت كمان no excuses. We have to
Oh, of
see
course,
you.
the first place I will visit PSU.
إن شاء الله يا رب إن شاء الله يا رب إن شاء
but
الله.
whenever you are in Belgium, let me know.
Yeah, it seems you
course.
live next to me also, Miss Rana. Where do you
Yes.
live?
Near Brussels. It's not in Brussels, but north of Brussels.
I think you
Well,
are.
I'm coming to Greece in January for a couple of days. Maybe I'll convince my husband. Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yes.
And we can meet in the middle.
Germany
find
is
a
in the
place.
middle. I would say Germany is in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Cannot argue with that.
Inshallah, inshallah. Yeah. Have a great day. And thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Doctor,
you.
for everything. Thanks.
And thank you to the organizers, Dr. Dina, Dr. Ivana, Ms. Wiam. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
everybody, and have a great
Yeah.
day.
Yes,
Thank
have a
you.
great day.
too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.